Hey, it's Wafaa. Welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is a bit more interesting and just a bit different than what I usually do. Um, I think it's something that has been on my mind for quite some time. I've turned 25 recently, and you start to think about the big questions and what your purpose in life is. And it's just got me thinking as well on whether my life and all of our lives are written or whether it's something that we have control over our purpose and what we are meant to do here, and also whether our environment and the places and the experiences we've come from actually dictate what we end up doing in life more than we think it does. So, yeah, I think some of us have the belief that we have a purpose in life, right? Each human being has a purpose in their lives. And we often think about it as like if there's a one sole purpose, like whether it's our relationships or our careers or our achievements, our successes, our who we are as a person, our versions of ourselves. I think it's just there's always in our mind a one purpose. We think that our life is about figuring out that purpose and also practicing it and achieving it. And then other parts of ourselves also think that we have control over what we do. And then comes the part of, do you still have control, right, over your outcomes? Whether that's meeting new people, people that seem like there's some kind of universal alignment on why they entered your life at this specific stage, at this specific age, at this specific version of yourself. And it feels like there's something aligning when that happens. Whether that's like you getting the job that you've always been chasing for, but just now that is the right time that you get this job, or you find your person, or you get married, or you move to another country. There's also the part where there's opportunities coming to you that you don't take, that later on feel like you missed and you should have taken. And you start thinking on, where would I be if I had taken this opportunity, or where would have gotten me to, right? So questions like that, where you think that just one step could change your entire destiny, your entire purpose, and if you've taken it, you would have been a completely different person. And because you didn't take it, you're a complete different person. And you start questioning, is that something because I did? Is it because I took that step? And if I didn't take that step, would I still be here today? Or if I did, I I like I am meant to be here today. There's something that it was for me. I was meant for it. And then comes the part where you think about, if you have control over your outcomes. I mean, there's this saying where maybe destiny opens up doors, but you still have to walk through them. So you can't just kind of wait for it to come to you. You have to chase it. You have to put in effort. You have to go hustle. You have to work on it and put energy into it for it to become a reality. So you also think about on whether, if I didn't put effort into it, would it still be mine? Would that thing still be mine? Or it's because I put effort into it, again, it's mine. So I think it's just a very confusing question and a confusing reality to think about. I think another part of it is who you are as a person and where you came into when you started life, like your family, your genetics, how you look like, your race, where you were born in, your friends, your school, your childhood. All of these things somehow shape you who you are as a person. And because of these early years of your life, you start to think, will they set the path for who I will be as a person in the future? Or do I have control over that path? Or it doesn't matter because the path is written either way. So I think these things as well, like the environment and who you are as a person, it's things that you don't really have control over. You don't really have control over what language you speak, how you look like, where you're from, where you were born in, and who's your parents. Things like that where you just don't have control over. So you start to think, like, if I was raised somewhere else, if I was born into another family, would I be a different person now? Would I still have the same destiny, or would I have a new destiny? So things like that. But then you also start to think about what you're made of and what shapes you, what makes you you, what makes me Wafa. So things like my values, my relationship to myself, my dreams, my ambitions, my sensitivity, my weaknesses, my strengths, the way I laugh, the way I love people, the way I carry myself. It's sometimes the important thing is not what you're responding to, but how you're responding to it. And these values and these things that make us us is kind of what dictates how we respond to things. But that is something that you can also change in yourself and build a better version of yourself where you can respond to things better uh, next time. So things like that, where you can actually change these things about yourself so that the outcome does change. I think in the end, it's just toning it down a bit, being more on the ground, and realizing that it's not really one sole purpose that we all have. Maybe life is not in that one sole purpose. Maybe life is partly written, partly made or shaped by who we are as a person and what we were brought into, and then partly is the choices that we make every day. And that is the part where we have control over how we make these choices, how we respond to the bad things, how we respond to the good things, how we celebrate life, and how we don't let life let us down when bad things happen to us. Of course, I'm sure you've heard it before. I think it's just changing the mentality that bad things don't happen to you, they happen for you. There's always a greener side on the other end of it, right? So yeah, I think just realizing that there isn't really one sole purpose that you have to achieve in this life. It's maybe just being better every day, being closer and more aligned to yourself every day is what will help you feel fulfilled and feel like you are where you're meant to be, whether that was written or whether that was because of your choices. Um, so I hope this helped. I think it's something that I have to keep remembering because I forget and I always fall in the loop again. I hope you also learned something from this and I was able to help you in some way. All right, I'll speak to you guys next time. Bye.